Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Motivated Entrepreneurs Podcast. It is Tuesday morning, episode 252, as the numbers come down. Woo! That's if you're only watching on video, by the way. If you're watching on videos, we have these numbers that come down, and if you're on podcast, then sorry, we don't have anything for you. Anyway, right, so today, I always say anyway, don't I? It's when I get nervous, I go, anyway. Right, today, I was going to say anyway then, but I stopped myself. Right, today we are talking about just because you can, it doesn't mean you should. By the way, this is a Motivated Entrepreneurs Podcast, and I would love it if you could subscribe to the podcast. That would mean absolutely loads to me. Subscribe either on iTunes, Overcast, Stitcher, wherever you get your Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. That will be absolutely stunning. Right. So this came from Matthew McConaughey. For those of you who listen to a lot of business podcasts, Matthew McConaughey has got a new book out, and I wasn't going to read it, but he's been on this podcast. I don't know. He's been on a roadshow, I suppose. He's been on every single podcast, even the Joe Rogan podcast he's been on, because he is promoting his new book. And I wasn't going to get it. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, Matthew McConaughey is absolutely fantastic. And so now I bought his book and we'll do a book review on it. He just seems a real deep thinker as well. And I love that about him. And obviously the more and more I learn about people, successful people, the more and more I learn that they've got more than talent in that industry. So Matthew McConaughey, whatever his name is, he's got more than talent to be an actor. Andre Agassi had more than a talent to be a tennis player. Roger Federer, David Beckham, whoever it may be. If you're at the height of your game, then you've got something more than just talent. You've got something that is driving you internally. And I've now realized that I need to read these books from these amazing people, the top of their field in acting, sports, because before it was like, well, it's not business. I'm not going to make any money from it. I'm not going to change the way I think and feel about certain things. It's not going to change my emotion, but it can do. And so anyway, back to the point, Matthew's book, I'm going to buy it. And every single podcast that he's been on, I tend to start listening to him now because he just gives some amazing golden nuggets. And this is one that he shared. I can't remember which podcast it was, but it was, just because you can, it doesn't mean you should. What on earth does that mean? And it's, for example, he gives an example about drinking. Just because you can drink earlier today, it doesn't mean you should. So, for example, on a Friday afternoon, I might have, I haven't been because I've been doing Sober October, but on a Friday afternoon, it doesn't mean that I can have, because I haven't got any meetings or anything, it doesn't mean that I can have, so nobody's in my office or anything, I can have a beer at 2:00. It doesn't mean I should. So just because you can skip work today, or don't do anything at work, it doesn't mean you should. And so that's a really important message, I believe. Just because you can do something, it doesn't necessarily mean you should do something. So you've got to be aware of that before you make a mistake of doing something that you shouldn't. Because is it in line with your goals, your dreams, your desires, your wants, your needs? And how is that going to affect you? So, for example, if I have a drink earlier on, I know my decision-making won't be great at the end of the day, perhaps. And if I'm skipping, I'll give you an example, gym. I want to skip gym I'm supposed to be going to gym today. I want to skip gym every single day I'm supposed to be going. But just because I can skip the gym, it doesn't mean I should do it. So all the things that you can do, it doesn't mean you should do. And just insert examples in your own life, because I think we all fall into this trap. So tomorrow I am going to talk about, I love this episode, teeing yourself up for success. And we're going to get into it tomorrow. Okay, my friends, thank you very much for joining me on this very, very short episode. I will be speaking to you tomorrow, my friends. See you soon.